Hey, how's it going, guys? It's MetaGamesGX here, and we are doing a little bit of a different kind of deck profile, a bit of an old school one if you've been here for a few months, where we're doing my own deck profile at home. We haven't had one of these in a while, because the channel's kind of transitioned into like being a dueling channel for the most part, plus like the deck profiles. So, and obviously I just moved, so this is a new setup. This is going to be on my first place Despia branded Bystial deck profile that I recently went flawless at my recent locals tournament. Um, so we'll get into the matchups a little later, but I want to go over the deck because I'm actually super proud of this deck because I came back to Yu-Gi-Oh only playing TEARLAMENTS. Like I hadn't played Yu-Gi-Oh since competitively since like 2015. So it was a lot of change and like I had to learn a lot of decks. Like I was playing Master Duel before that, so I still like learned some of the newer cards, but not enough to like consider myself good at the game. And it took me a while, even with Tearlaments, to even like figure out. So picking up a new deck was a little bit scary, but like I love this deck. I fell in love with Branded. I love fusions; it's my favorite mechanic. So like this deck kind of does everything I need it to. In terms of that for me to have fun with the game, and I feel like you can do so much with the deck. Like I think it's kind of the best deck of the format in terms of it has the best matchups like universally, I think. And it's, I mean, yeah, it does brick sometimes, but like most of the time I feel like you do a build that like it's pretty hard to brick. It's like this thing bricks as much as my tier deck bricked, so it's quite consistent. So we're gonna get into it. It's a 43 card main deck. And I'm very proud of it. It is branded Bystial. So let's get into it. Start off with 3 Aluber, or that's a Dark Magician. 3 Aluber. We'll get into the Dark Magician later. So Aluber is the heart and soul of the deck, basically. It just searches everything. Actually, we'll get into Dark Magician because we are playing the Dark Magician engine. This is the goo of the deck. So we do run this to play Dragoon. I'll just get that out of the way. That's essentially why he's here. You send it off a branded fusion, you make Lubellion, and then you go into Dark Dragoon because it's really good against Kestira. It basically wins you that matchup for the most part. So it's something that I would highly recommend running currently in your branded deck. Like you don't need to run the Aqua Dolphin, like or like the Gimmick Puppet main deck, but like this I think is required in this format. It's also really good against other rogue matchups, and just like the deck doesn't have an Omni negate, so like it's a very good option to play around evenly matched like main deck. So sometimes I'll just go into Dragoon versus my normal play if I know that they're going if they could be playing those types of cards. So we'll put Dark Magician to the side now, and the 3 Aluber, it's just like the best card in the deck. It searches everything. You never use its graveyard effect, and you summon off a branded opening. There's really not much to say about Aluber. 2 Fallen of Albaz. I used to run 3. I think 2 is the best ratio because it bricks at 3, but it's never a brick at 2 because worst case you can super poly with him going second. Or pitch him in the graveyard. He's just, you kind of need to run him. He's not the best, he's not the worst, but he's the heart and soul of the deck, and that's why we love the Despia lore. One Blazing Cartesia, probably my favorite card in the deck, just frankly, in terms of art. I want to get a Starlight. This card's insane. It's just going to keep getting better with the next set with the new Synchro. You can summon this off of Fusion Deployment for free and play around Ash. It's really good, and it's a tuner, you know, so like you can probably find other decks to use it with, but it's a light too. You can special summon it if you have an Albaz in the graveyard, which is super useful. 1 Albion. These are the one of Albaz cards now. This card, I mean, everyone knows how Albion does. Like, do I even need to explain? You send a Retribution, and then you get your card, and you get your draw one. It's an insane card. 1 Ad-lib. Ad-lib, like, see, this is the one card I don't get in this deck too much. Like, the only time I end up resolving this is, like, my second turn. Like, the second turn I get to play is when an Ad-lib is live with my standard combo. I mean, I'll show off the combo, too. I might as well because, I mean, a lot of people have shown off this combo, but it's why I love this deck because you really can make better boards than tier on some level. Spriggan's Kit, I mean old tier. This card's great. This card's so good. Like, some people don't run it, but I think this is the perfect. Like, I would run 3 Albaz if I wasn't running this. But this card just like unclogs your hands and put cards you need in your deck. That like if you have an Albaz in your hand, you can go for Branded Fusion, put Albaz back in your deck. If you bricked on your Albazes, it's just so good. Then just like these guys, Mercurior is kind of a hand trap, but you really only end up using this if you have it in your hand or you search up a Brigand for a grind game. But these guys are mostly for Allure of Darkness, or else it would be 1-1 because these are really bricky. But I run 3 Allure of Darkness, so you can get their effects to banish. So here's the Bystial engine. This is what I started at, and I have not changed it because I've seen other builds like people run. I'll get this 3 Saronir. That's it for the Bystials. I don't run Magma. I don't run Druid Swarm. I don't run Baldrake. I think that these are the only good ones in this deck, frankly. Like, Magnamut is okay, but like I could see myself side decking it if a deck ever becomes relevant, or running it, obviously. But currently, with a very tierless format, Saronir I think is perfect because you run 2 Mercurior for the allures, so you have a lot of plays where you just banish the Mercurior in your graveyard if you don't allure it already. And then obviously these are the core of the huge combo that this deck has that I'll show at the end of this video that really got me into this deck. Like, when I saw that, I was like, yeah, I need to play this deck. You could play like 1 and 2 theoretically. I always want to see at least 1 Lubellion, so I don't see why people don't play more. Like, most people play 1. I think you should run 2, if not 3, frankly. I think 3 is a bit too bricky. I've never tried 3. Saronir can be bricky, but like honestly, it's a really good card because it's an out for Ibli. So that's why I don't really run Econ in this deck, because I run 3 Saronir. I could just tribute off of Ibli. Here are the hand traps. 2 Ash, 3 Nibiru. I used to not run the Ash. I mean, Ash is a really good card this format, obviously, because of branded, but I'd still say it's pretty good against Kashtira because it's pretty good to stop the special deck or special from the main deck, but it doesn't stop their whole plays. That's why people are like, oh, you should run Nibiru or Book. These probably would be Book if I had more Kashtira at my locals, and I'm going to OTS, and like, yeah, I don't know, I might make changes. But Nibiru is really good against any other deck too, besides like Labyrinth. But it's, I don't know, I like it for the light target also. These would be 3 books if not, and the 2 Ashes is because I run a cross-out package in the side deck, so it really is just there to, so I can side more cards in, and honestly, like, ever since I put it in the deck, it's always performed very well, and you have a lot of draw power, so you can always draw into Ash, which is really nice when you're comboing. So I think it actually works out great at 2, and like, I wouldn't cut it, but you could cut it to 41 to make it 41 cards. Here are the one-of branded spells: branded red, branded lost, branded white. I like the white because I do the white combo where you get to fuse a fuck ton with it. Branded red's crazy. You get to fuse on your opponent's turn, and branded lost. That's why I don't main deck Super Poly. I don't think it's necessary. Branded lost is like combo piece. It just says a plus machine, and it helps stop negates. 3 branded fusion, obviously the heart and the soul of the deck. It's why you run the deck. If this thing goes to 1, I stop playing the deck, and like, it went to 1 in the OCG, so we'll see what happens. But this card's crazy. It's just insane. You can make Dragoon off of it. Hello. 3 branded opening. So this card I don't like, but you have to run it because it's a bridge into fusion, or it's a quick play into, and it's a discard to brick hands, and it's a special summon, so you can still normal with other things. So it's a good card, and it's also the graveyard effect's great. Like, for destruction, it actually comes up a lot in this format, at least, without, obviously not against Kashtira, but against other decks. Good cards, don't need to be explained. These probably need to be explained. I don't know why people, run less than this. I think this card's insane. Like, even when you're not main decking Aqua Dolphin, which I do side it, that's why I run 3. But also Cartesia, it just like gets you there. And Cartesia is huge because everyone's running Ash, so it gets you around playing Ash, actually lets you play the game. One of Foolish Burial called by, you can Foolish Burial, whatever you want, Lubellion, Saronir, Despia Tragedy, or even Fallen of Albaz for certain cards, and then 3 Alert Darkness. I love this card. I wish I had ultis. It's I wouldn't run. I just love Allure because I came up in this format with Phantom Darkness. Like I went to that sneak preview, so it's something that whenever there's a deck around, I will run it. Like even if it's like not optimal, like maybe like running Allure is A, but you could like probably find better space and just like cut some of the cards and go to 40. I just like it how it works. And then the traps are 2 Branded Beast and Branded Retribution. No other trap cards. I do side in Expulsion, so we'll get into that. We can also show the Gimmick Lock combo because I think people will probably ask about that since I'm on the Branded Facebook group and a lot of people do not know about that. And also the Aqua Dolphin thing. So Branded Retribution, it's a combo piece to get your cards. And Branded Beast is some people side, like obviously it isn't necessary, but I do run heavy Bystials, so I always end up on Lubellion. So like because I play that combo, this card's I think really good, and also it wins you game 1s against like Floodgate decks. Because you get to pop any card. It's a pop any card, which you don't like. Mirror Jade's only a monster, so it it's not. It can't get you out of everything. That's why I like Dragoon in this deck, because that is a out for everything. So 1 Dragoon, obviously. This is for Kashira, but it's also just incredible against other decks. You don't normally end on it, but if you're playing Kashira, you always do. It gives them a super hard time. They can usually play out of it, though, so it's like you have to have other plays. So it's not a one-stop shop, but because it can't be targeted, essentially, is why it's super good against Kashira. It's an Omni-Negate. And you can pop a card, so it's like and it goes to 4K, so it's just super good. I love this card. I would run 2 maybe if I at the OTS this weekend, so I don't get ripped, but I don't have to worry about extra deck rips at my locals too much. 2 Mirror Jade, 2 Lobellion, 2 Albion. These are super standard. I don't even know if I have to say anything about these guys. Like Albion's crazy. Lubellion's crazy. You make Lubellion to make Dragoon. That's basically all I have to say about that. And also the combination with Rindrum is insane with Ice Jade because you can just negate his effect and search a card. And then get the Gragonol for the Cartesia. It's a good card. I only run 1 because I only run 1 Cartesia. And then this card can float into Despia and Gyarados or Despia and Proskinion. I mean, I made the space so I could like run these guys. I think this card's insane. Honestly, this card's fucking insane. If you have this on board, it's pretty easy to just like win from there. And Gyarados is really good to just stop your opponent off of Gragonol basically from doing anything. Brigand to send for Mercurial Search if you are running out of other things. Also can do a non-target lock since I don't run Mud Dragon. In the side, 1 Garura, you send it off a combo, and also I have Super Poly in the side deck. Prep Plant and Chimera, this card's insane. You resolve it basically every other game. It just clears boards. It's your way to clear boards and just gain advantage. And it's 33, which comes up a lot. It 1 Prep Plant because the effect negate is just so good. You don't have another effect negate like that, so I think you have to run it. It's way better than Gyarados, honestly, and you can summon it off of other things. So we're getting to the side deck now. 1 Harpies. This was kind of like a holdover from running Triple Tactics Thrust, but that card's not like really that great right now. I mean, it's not like bad, obviously. Like someone's gonna probably run it, and then everyone's gonna run it soon. But like, I don't see the point of running it right now. It's really good for Labyrinth and other back row decks because that's what you lose to. 1 Aqua Dolphin, 1 Aqua Neos. So basically you use Fusion Deployment and summon out Aqua Dolphin, discard a card, and then you can rip an Ash because Ash is like 0 attack. You never summon the Aqua Neo, so that's why you don't need the Neos in the main deck. You just need to reveal it for Fusion to special the Dolphin. Super good. If you just know, like it's main deck worthy if you know your locals all like run Ash, but like even then, like I just think like I still run in the side deck in my locals where everyone runs Ash, so because sometimes they just don't see it. I don't know. And then sometimes they might just not have it. And then Brand Expulsion Nightmare. So these cards are insane. Like this is a mini combo right here. You basically at some point throughout your Gimmick Puppet, through your branded combo, you have several different points to send a Like, you can send this off a Gragonol, like, frankly. Like, you can just, like, if they ash your branded fusion, just make Gragonol, send Gimmick. And if you have a way into branded, like, a branded trap spell, which is pretty easy, you can just set up a Gimmick Puppet lock, which you use on your opponent's turn. You flip it. You target a Gimmick Puppet and another monster, just like a Luber preferably, or something that does something on a special summon. You could even do an Albaz to fuse off the Gimmick Puppet. You summon this to your opponent's side of the field, and then they are lingering effect, not able to summon a card or special summon for the rest of the turn, which most of the time just is an instant win because you'll just win the next turn. That's every time I resolve this, I win. Like, I've not resolved this and not won. It's really cheap combo, but like it's why I think the deck's like the best deck in the room right now. Triple crossout designator plus a D barrier. This is the most insane singleton of my life. Like, for some reason, I always see this card go, like, if I side this in going first, which I'll never side with crossout. So it's kind of insane. Like, it's actually really good, like, just going first, like, against certain decks. But, like, you run it for the crossouts, so, like, it's so good because everyone runs this, like, because everyone knows this, and Ash is like the one-stop shop to winning against my deck. So you just run the triple crossouts and you're usually good to go with your draw power. You really are, because they'll never call D barrier until like you start fusing, which is like super dumb. I mean, actually, like, good players would. So it's not always a surefire. Triple lightning storm because I ain't afraid of Ibali. Basically, it's just, I prefer this over Dark Hole so much, and like Twin Twisters or like whatever, like Cosmic Cyclones, because of the fact that it just is so malleable, you know, like you can destroy spells, you can destroy trap cards. It's just so good. Like, it's a blowout. Every time I resolve this card, this format, I win. And you just lose to like cards just that are like, this wins you your runic matchup too. It's kind of why I wish I was running Thrust, because I want to be able to search that card, but and then 3 Super Poly because it wins you the mirror match and like against certain other decks. A lot of other decks, frankly, just no like Marine Cess or like Salamangreats and shit like that. I mean, you can still do that too. I just don't run the Mud Dragon, but these cards are still a blowout against my deck. So let's do a little combo time. We are going to do a 2-card combo, which involves Bystial Lubellion. This is a super known combo. I think like Grim YGO posted this, so that's where I found it. So go check out his channel. He was the originator of this combo. So all you need is a Lubellion plus a Luber, and what you do is you normal summon a Luber, and you search out Branded Fusion, and you use Branded Fusion, and you send a Tri-Brigade Mercurier plus an Albaz, and you summon out the brand new guy, the Rinram, and then you use Lubellion to discard to search a Saronir, and then you use Saronir's effect from your hand to banish the Mercurier. You hope to God that they don't have a thing to stop that. And then Mercurier's effect, when it's banished, activates. So I search out a Cartesia, and then I use Lubellion's effect from the graveyard to tribute the Saronir to special summon it. And then Saronir's effect activates to send 1 branded spell or trap card to the graveyard. You send the branded retribution to recur a spell or trap card at some point, and then you use Bystial Lubellion's effect to activate the branded loss from your deck, so you can search a monster off your next fusion summon with Cartesia, and then you special summon Cartesia since you have a Fallen of Albaz in your graveyard, and you use her effect to fusion summon the Aluber and herself into the Grand Guignol. And then Grand Guignol's effect activates Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2 loss, so you search out a Albion to continue your spell and trap to start setting up your graveyard even more for Branded Retribution. Then Gragonol activates, and then he will send Garuda to the graveyard, and then you will get a random draw. Although my deck's not shuffle, so it doesn't really matter. And the draw is really nice, but now because of Albion, you can use Albion from your hand to send a branded spell or trap card to your graveyard. You send the branded in white, and then you put it to the bottom of your deck, and then you get to draw one. And then you are able to basically start finishing your combo. You activate Branded Retribution to banish it, and target the branded in white, add it to your hand, and then you use branded in white to banish Garuda plus the Fallen of Albaz in your graveyard to to special summon out Mirror Jade. And then here's the cool interaction I mentioned before. You get to use Mirror Jade's effect, and then you can send an Albion, even if your opponent doesn't have enough monster on the board, because you can use Rindrum's effect to negate your own Mirror Jade's effect, and then you have the optional effect of bouncing. So if it's on your opponent's turn, you won't, or like obviously you would banish. And then you send the Albion in the graveyard, so it's set up for later. And then at the end phase, you can activate Cartesia to add back to your hand, and then you use Albion to set up. This is how you could set up the branded expulsion also for, whatever. Like I would search Branded Beast at this point because that gives you a free pop. And this is, you started with 2 cards and you ended on 1, 2, 3. You ended on 9 cards from 2 cards. That's why this combo I think is the best. That's why I think you should run 2 Lubellion. And that's why I think the hand traps are pretty good, because you can really draw into them. Maybe that's why Book of Eclipse may be a thing, but I think Nibiru is just fine because you can use all your effects in Nibiru your field and play next turn. Like, these guys do affect things in the graveyard, which is super cool. So I think this deck is the best deck of the format besides Kashtira, and I think this deck has no problem against Kashtira as long as you draw your outs, which I guess that's any deck, but like this deck has plays for days. And only really loses to Ash and a Rise Heart lock 10 zone, so it's pretty good. So that is the video. That is the deck profile. I appreciate everyone checking it out. This was my first place, undefeated, branded Despia Bystial deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed. Please let me know what you guys think. Are you guys running the Dragoon? Are you guys running the Aqua Dolphin? What do you all think about Kashtira format? Do you guys prefer it than Tearlament format? To be honest, I am having more fun than Tearlament format. I did like Tier format, but like the mirror matches were just toxic because of time, I think, so they weren't fun. Like theoretically they are fun if you are a very fast player, but I'm not, so yeah, please leave a like below or dislike if you didn't enjoy the video. I'd like to know your feedback. As always, please have a good day and subscribe if you enjoyed. Peace out.